Hey guys, this is Spiritual at Heart Tarot, and welcome back to another Pick a Card reading. Today's topic is other people's reactions to your pregnancy. So we're going to take a look what your partner may think, what your friends may think, or your family may think, or at least what they are going to respond or how they are going to react. They might be thinking something else, and if you're wondering what they might be thinking, that might be a video for another time. So we're going to take a look at their reactions. Now, as you can see, we have 4 piles to pick from. We have pile number 1 over here with the cow, pile number 2 with the cat, pile number 3 with the piglet, and pile number 4 with the dog. And we're starting out with the energy of your baby to see if what baby this is about. Maybe you will have more than just one child, so you could have more piles that you might want to watch. So we're starting out with your baby, and then we're getting into the responses. So I hope by now you have picked your pile, and it's time to get into the reading. See you there. Hello, my lovely pile number 1. If you picked this cute little cow, this is going to be your reading on how your partner, friends, family will react to your pregnancy. And as I explained in the introduction, we are starting out with your baby. We're going to see about what baby this actually is talking about. So the card that we have for you guys is this Supergirl, and we have hope. And it reads, I am a beacon of hope, showing that with courage and determination, we can overcome any darkness. So this is possibly a little girl that will be coming to you. She might also be named Hope, or she will be a beacon of hope. And we are also going to get some more cards. We're going to check out if this little girl, what kind of zodiac she might have. And we're also getting some more characteristics. Okay, so 3 cards came out. We're just taking all 3 of them. We actually have 4. So 4 cards it is. We have 2 specific ones and 2 more general ones. So the first one we have is Aries. So she might be an Aries. We also have Capricorn. So Capricorn, little stubborn girl, it might be. Then we have Earth. So even more grounded, stubborn, hard-headed energy, but of course in a good way. And lastly, we have water. So all the water elements could be here. It also shows us that this little girl can be very emotionally intelligent, very emotional, very much in contact with her emotions. Maybe she might cry a lot as well. I love that we have the Aries with the volcano in combination with the water, right? It's like the 2 extremes at the same time. So let's use my typical little cards to get some more information about what she might look like or what other characteristics she might have. Oh, I'm sorry. This is so funny. I love when this happens. So I'm going to show you guys. Stubborn, like I said. This girl is probably, with the Capricorn and with the Earth, she can be really, really stubborn. So I guess, yeah, it was something that had to be mentioned. We also have family-oriented. So I think that your family is going to be a great family. You might go on trips together. She might want to hang out with you guys even when she gets a little bit older. Also with the cow, we get that herd mentality. They live in a herd, they live in a group. They do things as a group, as a family. And I think that that's something that you will have with this little girl as well. I might add, this doesn't have to be a girl, but there is more so a softer, more feminine energy to this baby. Okay? We also have athletic, so she might become really athletic. We have North American origins, so they might be from you might be from the USA, your partner might be from the USA or Canada. Take it as it resonates. Of course, these are super specific. You don't always need to take the super specific ones. The more general characteristics are likely for everybody. Then we have laugh. Let me show you guys. So she will probably have a beautiful laugh, or in general, she laughs a lot. She's a very happy-go-lucky child. And lastly, we have hazel eyes. So she might have some beautiful hazel eyes. So that's it for the information about this little girl. Let's get into the reactions of your partner, your friends, and your family. Let me remove these and let's take a look. Okay, so let's see how your partner will respond. So we're going to start with your partner. I must add, I've never done this kind of reading before, and I always get a little bit scared for you guys about the answers that will come through. I don't know why. Maybe it's my own anxiety about people responding badly to pregnancy announcements. I've had that before in the past, when I myself felt pregnant when I was 16. So yeah, I must admit that that anxiety is always there. Even now when I was 29 and I had to announce again. So know that that feeling is totally normal if you have some anxiety about announcing your pregnancy, and know that everything is going to be all right, even if people respond differently than you might want. Okay, doesn't mean you're not gonna enjoy it, right? We'll just see what comes up, and know that a lot of people will respond better than you expect for most people. So let's start out with your partner. So Spirit, can you tell us how pile number one's partner will respond to this pregnancy? So a lot of cards fell out. There's a lot of energy. So let me grab everything from the floor. So I'm gonna take that one because it was on top. Can we get a clarifier or just some more information from Spirit for pile number one's partner? So I'm just gonna add that already, that we have the pie, or it's like a birthday pie, as you can see. The Six of Candles is also the Six of Wands. So yeah, that's what we're seeing here. So someone is really celebrating. That's the energy that we'll see, that we're seeing here from your partner. I'm sorry, these cards flipped around. Yeah, sometimes I can be a bit messy. So we have the Six of Wands upright. We have the Three of Bells. Also the Three of Swords reversed. So the Three of Swords reversed talks about healing. Possibly healing from something very traumatic or something very painful, as we can see. So maybe something painful has happened in the past, but it feels like this is a healing message. And then we have the Dreamer of Candles. I think this is the Page of Wands. Yeah, I think that's enough. Let's see, bottom of the deck, the Numinous. Yeah, so it's reversed. We'll keep it like that. I'm gonna put it right here. And now I do want some clarifiers. I'm gonna use an oracle deck to get some clarifiers for these cards. Let me know in the comments if this is going to be your first child or not.
maybe if you have had some issues or insecurities about the response of people in your life, whether it is your partner or in general, just family and friends, maybe thinking you're too old, too young, whatever insecurity you might have, because I do feel like a lot of people watching in general will feel similar. So it might be some validation that you are not alone in that. So, Spirit, can we get a clarifier for the Six of Wands, please? So, a clarifier for the Six of Wands, or just some more information in general. So, we have wound. I'm going to read that aloud in a second if we have all the clarifiers. So we have ancestry, generations, and DNA for the clarifier of the Three of Bells. Then for the Dreamer of Candles, the Page of Wands, we have a release. And for a clarifier for the bottom of the deck energy, I am just going to get a normal clarifier. We have commits. Yeah. There we go. So let's start with that Six of Candles.
Like I said, I am going to move the cards a little bit. I was not checking my viewfinder, obviously. We like them to be nice and centered. I'm just not very good at doing that. I'm so sorry. There we go. So, with the Six of Candles, like I said, it's like a celebration. It's like a victory, especially a victory. It's like it has been a difficult path, or it might have been a long path, but there is like this sensation or this feeling of overcoming something. So it might very well been that you have been trying for a while and like this is finally happening. It might not be the case for everybody, but I do see for a lot of you that it is some kind of victory. And especially with this wound here, it's like something has happened in the past, or you might have got your feelings hurt in the past when it comes to conceiving a child. So maybe you are still in that stage. Maybe you are already pregnant and you can't wait to announce. But whatever it is, there is a wound surrounding probably getting pregnant or being let down, maybe hoping that you would have been pregnant before and it not coming true. Like I already said with this Three of Swords as well, but this pregnancy, this announcement is going to feel like a healing moment. Probably for your partner, but I think also for you too. Like you finally come this far that you can actually say that you are pregnant. With ancestry, generations, and DNA, it feels like it might have been a generational thing. So it might be that previous generations had problems conceiving as well, or maybe that by bringing this baby into the world, you will be healing a lot of generational trauma. Maybe this baby will bring a lot of healing into your family line. That's the kind of energy that we're seeing here. And I think that your partner realizes that as well. It's more so that you both want to bring that change into your family. Maybe you have had to deal with a lot of trauma in your past, and that has been coming from generations, but you have decided as a family, as you and your partner together, we're going to do things differently. And that's what we're seeing here. And maybe that's even what your partner is going to tell you, like, this time, now that we're finally pregnant, we're going to do things differently. We're going to change how this baby's life is going to go by just being kind to them, being generous to them, giving them a safe home to live in. So yeah, beautiful, beautiful energy here. Now, with the Dreamer of Candles, I think it's actually pretty funny. And we have release, to let go, to say goodbye, to set free, to leave, to move on and move forward. Yeah. So the Dreamer of Candles is quite a young energy. It's like the wild child. It's like the guy that loves to party, that loves to hang out with friends, that is maybe a little bit carefree, right? That kind of energy. So what I'm seeing here is that they're like saying like, oh, now I have to grow up. Now I have to get into this father role or this parent role. Say goodbye to all my partying years. It's time to move into this next phase of life. That's the kind of thing that I'm seeing here, like releasing that very young, carefree energy, owning up to the plate, becoming more responsible, less, how do you say that? Like spur of the moment, kind of the person that is going to start planning a little bit more ahead. That kind of energy, becoming more responsible in general is what we're seeing here. And then for the numinous in reverse and the commit, maybe with the numinous, it's a card about the magical, the unseen. So I think that in general, your partner is quite grounded. Maybe they didn't really believe in the unknown, in spirit or stuff like that. And I feel like now that this thing has happened and that you're finally pregnant, I feel like they are ready to open up a little bit to spirit. And they are going to try and like take a look at it instead of like ignoring it completely, avoiding it completely. It's like they might try and read up on spirituality or on maybe just read the Bible if you are a Christian. But it feels like they're going to be more involved with spirit. They can get more in connection to spirit in general. So that's what I'm seeing here for your partner. Let's remove these cards and let's check into your friends. Okay, so let's check into your friends. I do think friends, especially if it's not a best friend situation, are the ones that it might be harder to predict how they're going to respond. Especially, yeah, if you don't see them every day, if they don't know how you feel about things, right? You know, the situations that they are like, was it wanted? Did you plan this? Of course, people can be really blunt when it comes to these things, so keep that in mind. But we're going to see how they will respond or react to your announcement. So let's shuffle this one more time and let's take a look. So Spirit, how are pile one's friends going to respond? Creator of candles. There we go. Yeah, there we go. We have the 6 of Cups. I am going to add this card. It looks more scary than it looks. That is the Devil card. Don't worry just yet. And I think we're going to take the bottom of the deck right now. Strength in reverse. Okay. So, let's get some clarifiers. So, Spirit, can we get a clarifier for the creator of candles? And I do have to check because this deck uses different names. So, the creator, I think, is the King of Wands, but I'm not 100% sure. So, I am going to check that in a second. So, Spirit, can we get a clarifier for the King of Candles? King of Candles. So I guess it's a little bit more difficult to get into their energy. So I just said it's a little bit more difficult to get into the energy. And as you can see, like from nothing, a lot of cards came out. And I just want one. So Spirit, can we kindly get a 1 card as a clarifier? Okay, so we got 2.
I am gonna keep both. I think we
need to put them up a little bit so they fit in the frame. We have courage
and we have repression. Okay, interesting. We are gonna dig into that in a second. So then we have the Six of Cups with connection, relationship, love, and I felt this card as well, so we're gonna put it next to it. As you can see, you guys are getting a lot of extra cards at the moment. But we have time, right? So we're gonna take the time we need. Okay. And then a clarifier for strength in reverse. Okay. There we go. So first of all, one message just came through and I'm afraid that I'm going to forget it. So I'm going to tell you guys this message first. So strength is associated with Leo. And because it's in reverse, it could have different meanings, but I feel like there is one specific person that might be a Leo that might not respond the way that you hoped. So keep that in mind. So there might be a Leo person that doesn't respond the way you like, but I do think that is one specific person, okay? So that's what I wanted to get out of the way of. Now we're going to start with the other side, with that creator of bells or creator of candles. Let me check, by the way, if I am right about the creator. Let's see if it's anywhere in here. I love this deck, but I do think it's a little bit more difficult to read because it uses different wordings. And I'm not sure where it is in this booklet. Journey of key themes, journey. Yeah, that I knew. Okay, no, so the kings are mystics. The creators are queens. Queen of candles. So this is the Queen of Wands. So first of all, Queen of Wands, this might be one person specifically that is responding a specific way, or this could indicate that in general you have a lot of lady friends that are very passionate. So they might be fire signs as well, because the creator of candles, creator of the Queen of Wands is associated with fire. So I think in general you have friends that are quite fiery, that are quite straightforward. They might be quite blunt. Maybe that's why you wanted to check out the video, because you were like, how are they going to respond? What are they going to do? Right? So we have courage and repression. So I do feel like there might be some things that they are pushing down when it comes to you telling this. So maybe they're not gonna respond fully how they would have liked, or what they wanted to say, or what they were feeling. I feel like they are going to try and contain themselves a little bit with this repression card. I do think that they are going to admire you for telling you this, for telling them this, right? They're going to be like, oh, wow, that's so amazing. Maybe you are in a situation that it's not very expected of you to become pregnant, and that's why we have this courage card. Like, it's so courageous of you for telling them this, or for going through with it, or something like that. This might, of course, not be for everybody. I feel for some of you that's not the case. Maybe it is courage for pushing through. Maybe you like maybe they know your story and they know that you've been trying for a long time. It might have been very difficult for you, so it's like they're like, wow, we didn't even know that you were still trying. Congratulations on like finally getting this thing. But yeah, there is something that they're not maybe fully coming through on, Maybe they might be holding back a little bit. But with the Creator of Candles, it might also be that they are trying to get pregnant too, because the Creator of Candles, it's like a manifesting energy as well. As you can see, this lady is trying to communicate with spirit, trying to create something, trying to manifest something for themselves as well. So it might have to do with their own mindset. Maybe they are trying to get what you want, and they might be, they might feel a little bit, how do you say that? It can go both ways. Like they're happy for you, but at the same time, they might be a little bit jealous. That's the kind of energy that I'm seeing here. Of course, that might not be for everybody. Just take what resonates, okay? So maybe this is about a different friend. Maybe it's about the same friend. We don't know. But with the Six of Vials, also the Six of Cups, this is a very happy energy. This is a very gentle energy. The Six of Cups is like the very, very endearing energy. So there is a very endearing energy coming from one of your friends or multiple friends. We can also see this connection to ancestors or to spirit, maybe even. But I think that they just feel very fond of you. They're very happy for you. Maybe they know that you've been trying for a long time. I think that this might be a best friend that we're seeing here. As I said, that the light is coming in even clearer. So yeah, this is a lovely friend that I think you feel very close to, especially because we have connection, relationship, love, selfhood, introspection, and identity. I do feel like this might be the spiritual one of your friend group. Like you might have friends that you love to work out with. You have friends that you have a more spiritual side with. The more spiritual friends are the ones that feel very happy for you. I think as well, they have dealt with a lot of their own traumas, and they are just happy for you, and they can be authentically happy for you. That's the kind of energy that we're seeing here. It might be that they're going to tell you, like, we knew this already. We knew this was coming, or we had a sense that you were pregnant, and now you're finally coming out with that, because they have that strong intuition. And maybe they are very connected to spirit, and spirit was telling them or giving them nudges about your pregnancy beforehand. Might not be for everybody, but I do feel very strongly about this. And then the shadow. So the shadow is the Devil card. These might be friends that are very attached to their own shadows. So this shadow card is definitely not you. I feel like more so this might be a friend that responds very jealous, very sarcastic. They're not going to be very nice. They might be openly responding negatively to your announcement. And what I feel for this one is that because they are not in a good place themselves, they cannot be very happy for you. It's like your light is kind of intimidating to you. The other way around, to them. So your light is intimidating to them. And that's why they cannot be very happy for you. So what I do want you to know is that they're not a bad person, but their own trauma, their own self-limiting beliefs are holding them back from being the person that they could be. And I think that you know that this friend has a lot of potential. They can be lovely, but as we said, they might still have a lot of trauma. They might not be very involved. They're not like these spiritual friends that have done a lot of work on themselves. This one is someone that's holding back a little bit. So I think a big piece of advice is don't let it get to you. Maybe this announcement is a way to show you who is someone that needs to be kept in your life and who is someone that you might want to let go of, Of course, if you don't want to let go of people, you don't have to. What you can do is set clear boundaries with them. You can tell them, like, very clear, if you cannot be happy for me, please keep your distance because I want to be happy with my family. I don't want to feel this negativity in my life. I don't need that. I can do without it. Okay? So set your boundaries with this person. And maybe tell them how you feel about that. I do feel because they are not very evolved, it might be difficult for them to respond in an empathic way. So it might be this Leo person. I don't know who it is, but there might be someone or multiple people that are still in this kind of regressed kind of energy, stuck in their trauma, unable to be very happy for you. But please don't let them get to you. Then for this overall energy of your friends in general, like we said, there might be one Leo person that is a little bit pessimistic, that has their own issues, that cannot be very happy for you. Or what it also might mean is that I think that this is more personal for you. That this is more so about your own worldview, that you might just be less confident when it comes to sharing the news with your friends or with the world in general, like we see here with community, society, and environment. So maybe you know that you are in an environment that can be quite harsh, can be quite unkind, or just very straightforward. They say what they think, and that might be very difficult for you. And that's why you might feel a little bit insecure. So that might be something that you might be aware of, that you can be a little bit more insecure surrounding telling the news to friends or people that are a little bit more distanced from you. So I think that's about it when it comes to your friends. Now let's remove these and let's get to your family. Okay, so let's take a look at your family. We're gonna shuffle this deck once again. I really love the colors of this deck, although, like I said, it's a little bit more difficult to read for me because it uses different wordings. Let me know what you think of this deck, by the way, if you like it or if you prefer a different kind of deck. But let's take a look. So, Spirit, how will Pile 1's family react to this pregnancy announcement? How will Pile 1's family react? So, I'm just gonna take the top one. There it goes. Then let's see what else we get. We have the Creator of Files. What else, Spirit? We have the Founder. Like I said, different wordings. The Founder is also a card that when you hear the name, it doesn't really say much, right? And it came reversed, by the way. We have the Ace of Bells reversed. Okay. So I'm going to start out with saying that these cards are a little bit darker in color, a little bit more purpley. So we're going to keep that in mind. Now let's get the clarifiers like we did with the friends and your partner. So judgment of a family is also something that I was a little bit afraid of, like I said at the beginning of this reading. So please, please, please don't worry too much about what other people think, even if it's your family. And as we all know, people's perspectives change with time. Maybe they will feel completely different when the baby's here or when they are a little bit older. So keep that in mind whenever you do come across any negativity, whether this is from friends, family, anybody really. So let's get the clarifier. So we have the Nine of Bells, which is the Nine of Swords, but it is reversed. So Spirit, can we get a clarifier on this Nine of Swords? Thank you. We have Adjust. There we go. Then let's get a clarifier for this Creator of Vials. The Creator of Vials. So this is the Queen of Cups. So there is someone in your family that is clearly very empathetic, very in touch with their emotions, maybe even very spiritual, or maybe just very not spiritual in general. Maybe they are very, I'm hearing very Christian, but like they believe in something, right? In God, in spirit. We have Purge. Interesting. Then let's see. For the Founder, I think it's the King. We have Prayer and Soul. So yeah, clearly there are some very religious, that was the word I was looking for, people in your family, I guess. And then a clarifier for the underlying energy of your family's response. Let's take a look with the Ace of Swords in reverse. So, Spirit, can we get a clarifier for this Ace of Swords? A clarifier for the Ace of Swords, please. By the way, it just started raining. I'm not sure if you can hear it on camera. Let me know, because I think it's quiet enough, or at least it's not bothersome. So, yeah, there we have one. That did take some time. Let's see. There we go. So, that's what we're dealing with. Let me see if I need to make adjustments to get it all on the screen. I think it's fine, kinda. Maybe this one. There we go. So let's start all the way on the left with this Nine of Bells, which is the Nine of Swords in reverse, and Adjust. So we have Adjust, and it reads as followed. To tweak or modify, to reconfigure for better results, to make minor changes or updates, to change course and recalculate route. So what I'm getting for some of you is that there are family members that are going to respond with, oh, well, clearly you didn't have to worry so much about it because look where you are now. It looks like it went very easily. Right? So they might not get your doubts, your fears, your insecurities. I feel like they're just going to be like, well, of course, what did you expect, right? It's really that easy. While we all know that for some people, it really isn't that easy. But I feel like some of your family members might respond in that way. Like, it's not that difficult. Like, yeah, of course. Well, congratulations, but did you really think it would have been that difficult, right? That's the kind of energy that I'm sensing here. But yeah, they're gonna adjust just fine. It's gonna be, they're like, yeah, easy. So that's not someone you have to worry about, but you might be caught in your feelings a little bit about the ease they're gonna respond with it, right? They're gonna be like, oh, it's yeah, of course, right? So then we have this Creator of Vials, which is the Queen of Cups. This very emotionally in tune person, very spiritual, could be either one, could be both. But we have Purge. And with Purge, instead of like the Purge, I was thinking about someone like really starting to cry, like really getting emotional, really feeling welled up in the moment. So I do think this person is going to be like crying of joy, being so excited for you. And And I think that they really feel what a big difference this is going to make in your life, what a turnaround this is for you and your family. So this person is just going to be very nice to you, very helpful, and they are really going to show their emotions to you. They're going to show how happy you are, how happy they are for you. That's what I wanted to say. Yeah. Then we have this founder, and it's in reverse. So the founder, let me show you guys, is usually the emperor. So this is in general a very stern person, very critical, very stern. Especially when it's reversed, it can be more so critical than in their healthy masculine. So it might be that this is a father, a grandparent, someone that's just very critical, very stern, maybe someone that you can never do something good, right? Something like that. So I feel for some of you guys that your relationship with this person is going to get better from you announcing this pregnancy, you having this child, especially because we have this solve. So to find an answer or solution to a problem, to work something out, to untangle a riddle. So maybe this will clear things out between the two of you. Maybe they will finally show more emotion and you will finally feel like you are good to them. You are good enough. This is something that they actually like, right? I feel like this is someone that you might feel it might be a little bit more difficult to tell this person, like you were a little bit more afraid of their response. But I do feel like they're going to act very friendly, very positive. With prayer, it's probably something that they were hoping for, but you just didn't know. Maybe you just feared that they were going to respond negatively, and clearly that's not going to happen. They're going to respond a lot more positive. Okay? And then with the overall energy, we have the Ace of Bells in reverse. And this is the Ace of Swords. And the Ace of Swords talks about clarity. So it seems like this group of family members, you were not really sure of how they might have responded. You were kind of left in the dark. There is some mist surrounding the situation, right? So it might be that you are the one that's ringing the bell and you're just unsure about how they're going to respond, and you know that it's going to have a big effect, right? We see this ripple effect happening, right? So it's like something big is about to happen and you're unsure about how they're going to respond. And with dreams, true calling, and vision, I do feel like we said, it's unclear how they're going to respond. You're not sure. Maybe you were having nightmares, especially with that card, like something going wrong or someone responding in a way that you didn't want to, or something like that. And I'm also getting that if you feel, especially with this vision, if you feel like you're not ready to tell them just yet because it's reversed, feel free to wait. You don't have to tell them immediately. The Ace of Swords can also talk about like getting a new piece of information. So because it's reversed, it might be that you don't have all the information yet, or you feel like you're not secure enough in knowing that you're pregnant yet. Maybe you want to wait a little longer. Feel free to do that with the Ace of Bells, okay? So don't worry. Take your time. Do it in the way that you want to do it. And yeah, that's about it. And I think that actually brings me to the end of the reading. Yeah, I guess so. So thank you so much for watching. Let me know if it resonated. I'm very excited for you. Please leave a little like if you want. It really helps my channel out. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in one of my next videos. Bye, guys. Hello, my lovely pile number 2. If you picked this cute little cat, this is going to be your reading on how others will respond to your pregnancy. And I don't think that you might have noticed, but you actually have 2 cards. So this is going to be the energy of your baby.
And because we have 2 cards, I feel like this could mean 2 different things. One, it could be twins, or this child might have a lot of both of these energies, and Spirit wanted to highlight both. So let's take a look at your cards. And don't tell the others that you actually got 2. So the first one we have is this little boy with the message unique. My powers are unique, making me an irreplaceable member of any team, just like the unique abilities of my favorite heroes. So this little boy is going to be very unique. And we also have a little girl, and we have honored. I am honored to be a force for good, standing tall among those who fight for justice and peace. So probably this little girl is going to fight for justice and peace. So like I said, it might be that they have that your child will have a little bit of both energies. It could also mean that you might be getting twins, one little boy and a little girl. So take the one that resonates. Now I am going to take these cards and see what zodiac signs might be significant. So I'm gonna try and shuffle them. They're not a lot of cards, so it's a little bit harder, but let's take a look. So Spirit, what zodiac signs might these children be? What will their zodiac signs be? There we go. That's the first one. The first one we have is Sagittarius. There you go. I'm also a Sagittarius, so I'm excited for them. They're little adventurers. That's the energy of a Sagittarian. So let's see what else we get. Spirit, what else can you tell us about these children? Do we have any other zodiac signs that want to come through? Any other significant zodiac signs? Because just one is not that much, right? We need a little bit more. By the way, if you're already pregnant, congratulations. I am very excited for you guys. You deserve it. So we have one more. Yeah, we have fire. So Leo, Sagittarius, and what's the last one? Crap. I forgot. How can I forget these things? Well, the 3 fire signs. I might add it in the description down below. Or if you want to tell me in the comments, feel free to share. But my mind is not really working at the moment. So yeah, drop it down below. So let's see what else we get. Because I do feel it's not going to be a fire sign for everybody. They might have a lot of fiery attitude, a lot of fiery energy, but probably they're not all going to be fire signs, right? There we go. We have Aries. There we go. I didn't even have to look any further. Aries, Leo, Aries, and Sagittarius. Those are the 3 fire signs. Spirit is just like, yeah, I'll help you a little bit. If you can't remember on your own, we're just going to come through like that. Okay, so Leo, Aries, Sagittarius, and also the earth signs. There we go. Let me show you guys. There we go. So fire or earth. That's the energies that this baby or these babies, multiple, might have. So now we're gonna use my little cards. I've used them in a lot of readings before. We're gonna use them to get some characteristics. So this might be eye color, it might be just what kind of energy they have to them, if they're adventurous, if they're athletic, all kind of things. So let's see what we get for you or your children. So this could be a confirmation if you have a child like this, or if you recognize your own characteristics. I'm just going to take the bottom. Or, yeah, I don't even remember what I was saying. Sometimes I get so into the reading that my mind just
blocks out. I don't know. Also, I'm not a native English speaker, so that hinders me sometimes as well. But I'm done complaining. Let's take a look at your cards. So we have quite a lot of little cards. Let's see. So the first one we have is a loyal. So they are going to be very loyal in general. Loyal to what they love, loyal to their family, loyal to their friends. They're not mean in any kind of way. And we also have long hair. So whether it's about this little boy or this little girl, they might want to have long hair as they grow up. We also have Australian origins. So this one is quite specific. And if you haven't seen any of my videos before with these little cards, the personality types are for everybody, but these very, very specific ones, just take the ones that resonate, okay? It's usually the energy of the most people that are watching, but it doesn't have to be for everybody. And sometimes it's an either or. So now we have Australian origins. We might get other origins later as well. So take the ones that resonate, okay? Then we have good with kids. So they are great with other kids. Maybe they are going to be like a great brother or sister, especially if they are twins, obviously. But if they'd have a little brother or a little sister, they might be very good with them as well. Or if they have older siblings, they just work very well in groups. Next up, we have charming. So they're going to be very charming. They'll know how to charm you into giving them treats, giving them toys. They are sweet talkers. That's what I'm getting here. We also have soulmate. So this could mean two things. Once again, like I said, with twins, they are soulmates. They have chosen to incarnate into this life together. So they are going to be very close to each other. They might even have some telepathic communication going on between the two of them. If this is not twins, this might indicate that you are going to be very close with them, that you are soulmates, and that they specifically wanted to be incarnated with you. Maybe you have been twins in past lives. That might be the case for some of you. But there is a very, very close connection between you and this or these babies. And we also have the twin flame card. Again, twin flames usually doesn't talk about babies. So I am going to interpret this one just as twin, right? So clearly there is a confirmation that these might be twins. And the engagement is also a card that I usually do not use for this deck. But the fact that it came out, it does indicate something significant. So maybe this indicates that with you telling your partner that you are pregnant, they might want to get engaged. It might also, again, just the two hearts might indicate that there are two babies, or that there is this very close connection, because engagement also indicates a very, very close connection, right? So that's what I have to say about your kid or kids. Now let's take a look at the reactions from your partner, friends, and family. Let me remove these and let's take a look. So we're starting out with your partner. And usually this is the person that we feel the least anxiety of. I think usually we get more anxious about telling friends and family because those are the people that dare to say things like, was it planned? Or are you sure you really want to do this? Or are you going to keep it? So keep in mind, especially with those people, don't let that get to you. And I'm really curious to know what people you are most scared about of telling. I'm sorry, my camera stand is not doing what it's supposed to. Let's see if I can. Yeah, there we go. But let's take a look at your partner's response. And if you don't have a if it's not official yet, it's the person that you made your baby with, right? So take it as it resonates. Just the person we're talking about is the person that is the father, the mother. Yeah, you know what I mean. So the first one we have is the Seven of Vials, Seven of Cups, and it says apothecary. The Seven of Cups talks about having a lot of options, or there being a lot of possibilities. Then we have the Lovers. There we go. I'm not sure how it came out. I feel like it's, yeah, I'm going to keep it upright for now, but we're going to take a look at that later. Then one more. So Spirit, how is their partner going to respond? The Wheel of Fortune. I like this. So I feel for you guys, this partner person is actually someone you're not fully sure of how they're going to respond. Or at least some of you are not fully sure. Yeah. Especially bottom of the deck energy, we have Justice in reverse. So it might feel like something's not fair. I think that there might be something going on with you and this person. Don't shoot me if that's not the case for you, but I do think that's the major energy I'm seeing here. So it doesn't mean that it's not your partner, but it does feel like maybe you weren't on the same page, or there wasn't a really clear decision on getting pregnant. Maybe this was more of a situation where it wasn't fully planned, or you really wanted it, but they were unsure. That's the kind of energy I'm seeing here. But let's get some clarifiers. So, Spirit, can I get a clarifier for that Seven of Cups, please? So, Seven of Cups. Can we get a clarifier, please? Clarifier for that Seven of Cups. There we go. We have projection. Okay. Then let's get a clarifier for the Lovers. Can we get a clarifier for the Lovers? We have triggers. I'm hearing attachment issues. But we're going to talk about it in a second, but I just want to mention it before I forget. Then for the Wheel of Fortune, can we get a clarifier, please? Clarifier for the Wheel of Fortune, please. I am already getting a lot of messages, and it's always very annoying because I'm afraid that I'm going to forget as we're going to talk about it. But yeah, we'll see. We're going to take it. I can't do everything at the same time. Although I really want to. I am someone that just sidetracks a lot. I hope you guys don't mind. Now let's get a clarifier for that Justice in reverse. Can we get a clarifier for Justice in reverse, please? Clarifier, please. Justice in reverse. My anxiety levels, I feel them in my body. I'm feeling a little bit anxious. And I wasn't feeling that way before I started doing this reading. So I feel like this person could be quite anxious in general. Maybe they are feeling quite anxious about this message. There is a lot of, especially we have only shadow work cards coming up. So it might be that they have been through a lot of difficulty as a child themselves. So this triggers a lot in them, especially because we have that trigger one, right? So it feels like I think they're just very scared, not very scared, but they do have some anxiety about the future, like projecting their own past into the future, maybe being afraid that they'll mess up or something like that. So let's just talk about how they're going to respond to this pregnancy. Because we have the 7 of Vials, the 7 of Cups, it can be a mixed bag. So for some of you, this person is going to respond positive. For some of you, they're gonna, they're not gonna be very excited, or they can be like a little bit wishy-washy about it. I do think for some of you, it might also depend on how you bring it. Like if you bring it very excitedly, they will respond happy. If you respond like you are unsure, it will trigger something in them and they might respond in a different way, right? So I do think the way that you bring it to them does have a big effect. And let me see what it says with the protection card. I'll show you guys what it says, because it might activate something within you as well. So how have your internal problems and emotions been projected onto something or someone outside of you? In what ways have you been misinterpreting your reality? What is mirrored back at you? So what I'm sensing with this, once again, is that they have been through things in their past, maybe some negative experiences. Maybe they've had, they already have children with someone else, or something happened in the past, and that makes them project that negative experience onto this experience, onto your experience. So don't worry too much. It does have to do with their past. It doesn't mean that they're not going to be happy in the future, okay? For some of you, this person is going to respond positively, very positively even, but it has to do with them having very positive experiences in the past, maybe having a positive experience growing up. So just know that their past has a huge influence on the way that they will respond to this news, okay? And all I really want to say is don't worry too much about them, okay? They're going to be all right. They're not going to walk away. Nothing like that. Don't worry. Then with the Lovers and triggers, like I think I said out loud, the being afraid of attachment, right? So with this trigger card, let me show you guys again. What is making you feel uncomfortable? What is causing the negative reactions within you or from you? What needs to be resolved? So, like I said, this person might be dealing with attachment issues, and this might be brought up when you give them this message. So they might feel like, oh no, now that we'll have a child together, I need to stay in their lives, and there is no way that I can never change my mind ever again, or something like that. Again, with a lot of people with attachment issues, it doesn't mean that they don't love you. It doesn't mean that they don't care about you. It's just the fear that if they change their mind, they can't, right? So there is just a lot of fear coming up for this person, a lot of things from their past, a lot of things that they might need to work through. And that will affect the way that they respond to your pregnancy announcement. A lot of triggers coming up, a lot of things coming up. We really have a lot of heavy energy cards coming up for them. So they can really respond very positively, but just know that there are things from their past coming up for them. Keep that in mind. Maybe that will change the way that you'll bring this up to them, or maybe you can support them a little bit with it. But I do think overall that they are going to be very happy, because we have the Wheel of Fortune here. And the Wheel of Fortune really talks about a big change in your life for the better. So I do think that they see this as a change for the better, a positive thing coming into their life really going from dark to light, right? But again, with the upbringing card here, it might have to do with their upbringing, about how they experience it right now. Like we said, there are limiting beliefs, or there are things holding them back from feeling this joy or really embracing that joy. What limiting beliefs or values were taught to you
that still affect you today. So it might have been that they have been taught things by their parents that are holding them back. For example, we had that engagement. Maybe you are not engaged yet, but you are pregnant, right? So maybe they have been told that that's not the way you do things. You are supposed to first get married, then live together, then have children. But maybe for you guys, it does go in a different order, right? You might have this child before you get engaged or even before you live together, and that's totally fine. But I think that he or she is having some negative self-talk about the way that things have went. Like I said, maybe just the order of things, like they've been taught that they needed to get married first. Maybe that's a value that they hold. So yeah, keep that in mind. But like I said, it does feel like they eventually, or they will immediately know that this is a great thing. It's just like they feel this internal thing that's a little bit stirring them up. And what I think, wow, I just know we have a lot of circles. So maybe things coming back around is something that's being highlighted for them. Maybe all these triggers have to do with something going badly in the past, right? It's coming back up. Maybe the Seven of Cups here talks about like having negative experiences in the past and they're not sure how to feel now because maybe it'll go wrong again, right? So there is a lot of things coming up for them at this moment. And with this Justice in reverse as well, like it feels like there has been a lot of injustice for them, probably in the past, especially with the Karma card. Like karma is always in the past. It's not in the moment. We have, what are the recurring lessons that you need to work through and break free from? How can you transcend your fate and create your own destiny? So yeah, there has been a lot of injustice in the past. And I think that that's something they have been working through. Whether this injustice might have happened with you or with previous partners, it could be either one, depending on who's watching, right? So take what resonates. But there might be a lesson that they need to work through or they need to break free from. Like all this worry or this anxiety that I'm feeling, it might be something that they just need some time. They might just need some time to work through that energy and to start really embracing that joy, that positive energy that will come from this child or these twins. So that might add to this anxiety a little bit. Like maybe they were expecting just one child and now they're hearing that there will be two. And they might fear of not having enough finances or not being able to share the attention, spread the attention enough, or it's going to be too much. There are a lot of worries coming up. There are a lot of triggers coming up. And that's okay, right? It doesn't mean that they're not happy about it. There's just a lot of stuff coming up. So keep that in mind, okay? Please don't worry too much, because if I get this message, I would be worrying a little bit. And I think that everything will be just fine. Let me remove these cards and let's take a look at your friends first. So we're going to take a look at how your friends might respond. So let's take a look at your friends' responses. Keep in mind, friends is a very general term. You have very close friends. You have friends that you only see once a year, right? And even if you see them once a year, it doesn't even mean they're bad friends or less of a friend. It's sometimes just circumstances. Also, a pregnancy announcement is a great way to find out who your friends really are. Some people are not supposed to be your friends. And this is actually going to highlight that. So keep that in mind as well. If you do get responses in here that are a little bit more negative, hopefully they're all going to be positive. But like I said, I haven't said it before, but I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm going to be honest. And I think that you have seen that with your partner's response as well. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to say everything is going to be sunshine and rainbows if there are things coming up. And I think that that's what you guys signed up for, to get the truth, right? And I do think everything is just a lesson, and it's not going to ruin you. It's not going to ruin anything. It might just help a little bit, right? So let's take a look at how your friends are going to respond to the news of your pregnancy. We have the Four of Candles. Oh, I love that. It's a coming together. Let's get some more information. So how are Pile 2's friends going to respond to the news? How are they going to respond to the news? The Visionary? Anything else? Anything else? How are they going to respond? The Explorer of Vials. I think it's the Knight of Cups. But I'm not 100% sure. I do think so. And then bottom of the deck energy. There we go. The Eight of Wands in reverse. Okay, then let's get the clarifiers. I'm sorry that this reading is going to be quite elaborate. If you want, you can always skip ahead. That if you feel like you had the message you needed to hear, feel free to skip ahead. I'm gonna add timestamps for every part. So if you just want to see friends, you just want to see family, just skip ahead to what you want to see. And I think I said it before, that if you want to have multiple children, you can definitely check more than one pile, right? So every pregnancy is different, and every response is going to be different as well. There we go. And then we get a clarifier for the Explorer of Files. Practice. And for the Eight of Wands, clarifier, please. There we go. Subconscious, yeah. So I want to start with this Eight of Wands and subconscious. And I'm going to show you guys so you guys can read it with me. What ideas, thoughts, or feelings are hiding from your conscious awareness right now? What are the unknown narratives and beliefs that are driving the way you see yourself and the world? What is emerging within you? What needs to be seen? So the Eight of Wands, or the Eight of Candles in this case, talks about stalling of the energy, holding back, waiting, a pause, or a slow kind of energy, not rushing things. That's the kind of energy that we're seeing here. So I do think that this is specifically for you to maybe check with yourself first of how you feel about things, how you want things, how you want to bring things. Maybe there are some things that are holding you back, right? Maybe you kind of have some limiting beliefs about how other people might respond, right? So first, be sure that you are comfortable enough to tell this message before you throw it into the world or throw it on social media. I think for some of you, you might really want to throw it on social media, but at the same time, you know that if people respond in a negative way, it will break you. So maybe this is a message to wait a little bit before you post it on social media. Wait until you feel confident in yourself that you can handle whatever is going to be said. That's the kind of thing that I'm seeing here. So that's quite a specific message. But overall, it's just a message of slow down, don't rush, take your time, okay? Take your time. Now, let's see how your friends will respond, because we have the Four of Candles and we have opinion. And I'm going to read it with you once again. So we have opinion, a view that is formed based on what you know, how you think, and how you feel. A perspective of judgment or judgment informed by your personal experiences, your upbringing, and your world view. So the Four of Candles can mean two things. Usually it indicates marriage. So for some of you,
your friends are really, really, really going to roast you for not being married yet, or they are going to try and push you into marriage because they feel like it's the right thing to get married before you have this baby, right? And Spirit is trying to remind you that that's their opinion. Do what feels right for you. You do not need to get married just because other people think you do, okay? So that's one way we can interpret this card with the Four of Wands. What I also see is a celebration, a coming together, a uniting of energies with this Four of Candles. So it could also be that they're just very happy for you. They're ecstatic and they really, really want to throw you a baby shower because they are people that feel like they need to help. That's their opinion. They feel like they need to do something for you. They need to organize something for you. And I feel like these are the type of people that don't really like to hear a no, or they really don't listen to a no. That's the kind of energy that I'm seeing here. It's a very pushy kind of energy coming from specific people. I don't know who these people are. Probably not all your friends, but there are specific friends that are going to be quite pushy, whether it's about marriage or about throwing you a baby shower, okay? Then we have the visionary. And the visionary can talk about an institution, for example, the church. So for some of you, you might be very religious and you might think it's very important to know how the church views you or people from the church view you. And what we see here, you might feel very guilty, but I do feel like they will forgive you, especially because we have that forgiveness card here. And let me show you guys what it says. To neutralize guilt, to make peace, to practice compassion, to let go, to set yourself free. So if you are very religious and you feel like you were not, well, things didn't go as they are supposed to go, you will be forgiven. Of course, there are a lot of people watching here that are not religious, right? Then this visionary is just someone that you look up to or someone of authority. So friends can be quite broad, like I said. Maybe this is your boss, for example, or who else can you hold for authority? Maybe your coach. Maybe you were planning on playing volleyball at a high level the upcoming year, and now those plans have to change. They will forgive you. Don't worry about it. Maybe this is about you still going to school and you cannot go anymore, or you really feel like you have to quit so you can pay attention to your child or focus on your child. Know that whoever goes to the school will forgive you for changing your path, changing your plans. So I do think that people of authority will respond way better than you expect. I feel like this visionary, this person, or the multiple people are people that you might feel a little afraid of coming out to them with this news. But they will respond very kindly. They will forgive you. They will respond in a kind way. Maybe they don't even need to give you forgiveness, but you might feel guilty. And that's why we have this card here. Like, although you feel guilty, there is no need for you to feel guilty. It will set you free. Their response will set you free. Now let's move on to this Explorer of Vials, this Knight of Cups in reverse. So Knight of Cups in reverse kind of shows us that this is someone that is holding back their emotions most of the time. It's someone that usually might feel a lot of emotions, but they will not show them, or in general, they can get like overly emotional. It's either one of them. But with this practice, we have to put into action, to apply. Let me show you guys so you can read with me. To apply a concept in a practical way, to own a skill, to develop a habit, to exercise. Yeah. So this friend is someone, again, you might fear their response a little bit because they are or overly emotional, or they are not very emotional and you're just like, I'm very excited about this news, but their response might bum me out. Something like that. With practice here, I feel like Spirit is trying to tell you that they are someone that you need to tell. And it will be great practice for you to share things that are a little bit more uncomfortable in the future. So see telling this person the news as more of a lesson, and let go of the way that they're going to respond. Because like we said, we know how they are. They are or overly emotional or they are not really emotional at all. So it really doesn't matter how they're going to respond. It's about how we feel. Feeling empowered in who we are and what we want to share. Maybe you can even preface it with, I have something to tell you. I am very excited about it. Or I'm very nervous to tell you, or whatever. Just give some context to them that they can really kind of adjust their response to you instead of you just flying blind and just saying, yeah, I'm pregnant. And it comes out of the blue and they're not really sure. And you'll get a blunt response, or you'll get this typical response. But if you kind of need this person a little bit beforehand, their reaction will be a lot better. So yeah, it's great practice for you for in the future if you ever have different news to share with them. Just see it as like another opportunity to share specific news with them and see how you can come at them better. I don't know why this message is coming through like this, but there might be a specific person that just can be quite difficult to interact with or share important news with. So make sure to tell them how important this news is to you. So that's what I have for you when it comes to your friends. Let's take a look at your family now. Let me remove these and let's take a look. So next up is family. Let's take a look. Let me try and shuffle these cards once again. So let me know who you are most afraid of sharing the news with, or maybe you are most excited to share the news with. Let's keep it a little bit more positive. I am someone that worries a lot myself, so I need to have that positive outlook sometimes and just look at the brighter side instead of worrying too much. So maybe that's you too, or maybe you are someone that can be quite positive, that doesn't worry often, and that's just very happy-go-lucky in general. Would love that for you guys. If not, that's fine too. Like I said, I'm literally the same. So, no, I haven't even asked the question yet, Spirit. So, how is Pile 2's family going to respond? So we have the Six of Pentacles reversed. Let's see what else we get. Can we get more information on how Pile 2's family is going to respond? The Fool. Upright. Beautiful card. Let's see what else we get. So, Spirit, how is Pile 2's family going to respond to the news of their pregnancy? The Nurturer. There we go. In reverse. And then, bottom of the deck, Ace of Bells reversed. This was actually on the bottom of the deck for, I think, Pile 1, but I'm not sure where it was. So you might want to check out Pile 1 as well, or you might want to pick and choose if you want to watch the friends from one pile or the family of the other pile. Do whatever feels right for you. Let's shuffle these two. As you can see, I love my rainbow cards. We also have this beautiful rainbow over here. So maybe rainbows are significant for you guys. I'm not sure. Might be. And then one more shuffle. There we go. And let's get some clarifiers. So, Spirit, can we get a clarifier for the Six of Pentacles, we have purpose. By the way, this first card came flying out prematurely again. So it might be that there is someone that's just very, very quick to respond. They might come back on their response later. I don't know. Might be. Take it if it resonates. Can we get a clarifier for the nurturer in reverse? Clarifier for this nurturer in reverse. We have love. I like that. And then for the Ace of Bells in reverse, can we get a clarifier, please? Clarifier. Yeah, thank you. Honor. Okay. Is everything on the screen? Yes, it is. And I kind of want to adjust my camera a little bit. There we go. The only thing is that my like is not in the screen. Yeah, that's better. So let's start out with the Six of Pentacles reversed and purpose. So the purpose card reads as follows. What is your North Star, your calling, what drives you and inspires you? What do you allow to guide your actions? What gives life meaning? So this Six of Tomes or Six of Pentacles usually talks about balance, give and take, sharing is caring, right? That kind of energy. And it's reversed. So I feel like maybe this message is coming from someone that is a little bit unbalanced, or is someone that's, how do you say that? Maybe they might be unbalanced. They might just be not be very generous, might be like a little bit holding back. And with purpose here, it might be that they'll actually question you about if this was meant for you, right? Like, is this really the right time, or is this really what needed to happen? They might, like I said, I think that might be something that they might say, but then they will reconsider, right? Once they get back into a healthier space of mind, they'll really understand that this was actually what was supposed to happen, and that this was your purpose, that you were meant to be a parent, and that you were meant to be, it was meant to happen now, stuff like that. So there is someone in your life that, yeah, they are a little bit off themselves, and that might influence the way that they'll respond to you, especially like the first second that you've mentioned it. But as time goes by, I think that their response will change a little bit. Now for the Fool. So this might literally be the Fool of the family. Or it might be that your family in general will see this as a beautiful new start of these children, or this baby coming into your family's life. So I think that a lot of people with identity are going to be like, oh yeah, I'm going to be the best uncle. And that's something that they will present themselves as. So they will, instead of them being themselves, they'll be like, yeah, I'm the cool uncle now. Or I'm going to be grandma now. Now on, I'm just grandma. I'm not just me anymore. I'll see myself as grandma. So their whole identity will be kind of influenced by this baby or these babies coming into their life. So as you become a first-time mom or first-time dad or first-time parent, and you'll identify yourself differently now, that's also what's going to happen to them. They're going to be like, oh, wow, now I am a grandma. And it's like their whole personality is kind of shifting, or their whole identity is shifting. It's like they'll view themselves in a completely different way. That's the kind of thing that I'm seeing here. So there is a big shift in the whole family because of this baby or these babies coming into their lives. And what I love here is that we have this nurturer, and the nurturer is the Empress. And I'm going to show you guys it. So the nurturer is reversed. So it tells me that there
is someone in your life, or there are multiple people in your life that are generally not very caring. So maybe this is your mother or your grandmother or I do think it's a female, so maybe your aunt. So usually they're not very caring, they're not very kind, loving, or just not that motherly type, not motherly energy. But with love here, it shows us that that's going to change.
Like maybe your mother is someone that's not very nurturing. When it comes to these children or to this baby, they will want to take on that nurturing role. They want to babysit, they want to do stuff with them. They will really show love and tenderness to your baby. And I'm going to be right back because my own little baby is crying. Be right back. So let me read this love card, because that's going to be how they're going to respond to your child. To show tenderness and devotion, to care, to connect, to take something as part of yourself, to be one with all. So yes, they are going to be a wonderful grandparent, grandaunt, aunt, whatever family member this is about. They are going to step up to the plate and they're going to be so loving and kind to your children. Be right back. So now for the last part. So we have this Ace of Bells that's reversed. And the Ace of Bells usually talks about clarity. Oh, we have the Eight of Candles on the back again. So as with your friends, I feel like you might need to take your time with your family as well. Wait till you are sure of how you're going to do things, or sure about what you want to do, or there is some clarity that might not be there yet, that you might need to wait on. You might need to wait for a message that hasn't come in yet, whether this is a message from a family member, a message from spirit, a message from a friend. I think that there is a message coming in that'll make it clear how you're gonna go about this. So let's put it like that. And we're gonna read this honor card as well. So to respect, to treat with esteem, to make seen, to commit, to align with integrity, to say yes to your desires and needs, to affirm your no's, boundaries. So honor your boundaries is very important. So maybe it talks about that not being married yet, right? Because we have bells, wedding bells. If you want to get married, yes, do it. If you don't. Maybe this Ace of Bells talks about maybe being proposed to. If you really want to get married before you have this child and you feel like it's very important for your family, maybe wait until your partner proposes, or maybe propose yourself if you want to. But yeah, it's very important that you set your own boundaries and that you'll hold on to that. And maybe you need to wait a little longer to announce. If that's what you need to do, that's what you need to do. So don't worry too much and stick to what you believe in. And don't worry too much. And really, really enjoy this pregnancy. Enjoy just spreading the news, because it is something very, very beautiful, right? Maybe waiting for whether this is going to be just one child or twins. Could be different for everybody, right? So that brings me to the end of the reading. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the reading, I'd love to get a little like. It really helps me out. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And I love to see you in one of my next readings. Bye, guys. Hello, my lovely pile number 3. If you chose this little piglet, this is going to be your reading on how others will respond to your pregnancy. So we're starting out with your baby's energy. We're going to see which baby we're talking about, what they're going to be like. Let's take a look. So the first card we have is Power. And we have this beautiful little girl. So my power lies not just in my physical strength, but in the unwavering spirit of heroism within me. So this little girl is going to be very, very
powerful. They might not be physically very strong, but they have a very strong spirit. So for some of you, this little girl isn't going to be very physically strong, but for others, this is going to be a little bit of both. They're going to be physically strong as well as mentally very strong. So now let's take a look at what zodiac signs they might have. Of course, this doesn't have to be a girl. It is just more so a little bit more of a feminine energy we're seeing here. And my baby, yeah, I'm gonna need to check on her. I'm gonna be right back. So let's take a look at these zodiacs, shall we? So Spirit, what zodiac will pile 3's child have? What will their zodiac be? Are they going to be fire signs, earth signs, air signs? So the first one we have is a Libra. So they might be a Libra or become a Libra. What else? What else might they be? Spirit, can we get more information on pile 3's baby? Can we get more information, please? So it does take quite some time for the cards to come out. They usually don't take that long. We also have Earth. So the Earth signs, they might have one of those. There we go. I think Earth came up in every pile for up till now. Anything else, Spirit? Yeah, we have a fire. So they might become a fire sign. And one more. Can we get one more, Spirit? Pile 3's baby. What will their zodiac be? What will their zodiac be? What will their zodiac be? There we go. And lastly, we have Aquarius. Let me show you guys. There we go, Aquarius. So now let's take a look at their characteristics. So for characteristics, they can be physical or they can be more general. Take the ones that resonate. The general ones are probably for everybody, but the physical ones, just keep the ones that resonate. As you can see, some of my cards are flipped the wrong way around. I did not notice that in any of the other readings. Yeah, I think I've got them all. But let's see what comes out. Okay, so the first one that flew out was Daredevil. So they might really be that daredevil. They're not afraid to try things. They're not afraid to say what they think. It does definitely come with the power card, of course. So yeah, they're quite fearless. We also have loyal to what they love, loyal to their family, loyal to their friends. What else? As you can see, there are still a few cards flipped, but we'll just take the full out and ignore the flipped ones. I'm sorry. I don't want to take the time to flip them around. But as you see, they're quite flippery at this time. Usually they don't do that, but it is what it is. So we have animal lover. So they're going to be huge animal lovers. I'm going to see if I can flip them back. There we go. Anything else, Spirit, about pile 3's baby? Another one that flipped, or a few, I'm not sure.
I am going to take the top one. So we have brown hair. Again, this one is physical, so this might not be for everybody. Just take it if it resonates. Anything else? We'll take them as their last ones. And then for the origins, again, this one is quite specific as well. Just take it if it resonates. European origins. And lastly, we have generous. So they're going to be very generous. Generous of spirit, generous of abundance. I think that they're just going to be lovely, lovely people when they grow up. And maybe even as they grow up, right? So this is who your baby is probably going to be. Now let's take a look at how your partner, your friends, and your family are going to respond. If you want, you can look at the description box and you can see what you want to watch. You don't have to watch everything. You can pick if you want to have just the partner part, the families, the friends. Maybe you even want to switch it up between the family one of one pile and the friends of the other. Do whatever you like, okay? It's your party. Okay, so let's take a look at how your partner will respond to your pregnancy. So there we go. We have the Magician and the I think it's the Queen of Pentacles. Here we go. Can we get more information on... The cards are being a little bit crazy. I don't know what it is. Maybe it is your energy. Maybe it is your baby. I'm not sure, but my cards are going all over the place. I'm feeling a little bit more insecure, a little bit more nervous, a little bit more all over the place. Spirit, can you please take that energy away now that I have said it? Because it's a little bit hard to work with. I'm not saying that you are hard to work with, but I mean, the energy is a little bit rough. So how will pile 3's partner respond? Can we get one more card, please? There we go. We have the Knight of Cups reversed. There we go. We also had it in one of the other piles, but I think on in a different part of the reading. If you are drawn to one of the other piles or you want to pick and mix it up, if you want the partner's response of this reading and the family part of another reading, that's totally fine. There are going to be timestamps in the description box so you can switch it up. And we have the 10 of Pentacles reversed on the bottom of the deck for the overall energy. Let's get some clarifiers now. By the way, I shuffled your deck, your tarot deck off camera. Actually, I tried to do it on camera, but I was messing it up and I was getting in my head about it. So I started over. So that's why I didn't shuffle it on camera. That's why I asked Spirit to just take that energy, whatever it is, take it away so I can calmly do my reading. Because I feel quite calm, but it's just that the energy is being kind of crazy. I don't know why. Something about your energy or the energy in general with you is acting strange. So let's take a look at your partner, shall we? So can we get a clarifier for the Magician and this... I think it's the Queen or it's the Knight of Pentacles. This deck uses different wording and sometimes it's a little bit confusing. We have academia, learning, and education. And I love that we have this person holding a book at the same time. We also have those butterflies that in the same card that we had in the energy of your baby with the Libra energy. So we love that it comes back. Let's get a clarifier for the Two of Bells, also the Two of Swords. So Can we get a clarifier? Yeah. So we have upbringing and disengage. You are getting some extra cards, as you can see, because I was planning to do 4 and 4. That's fine. Like I said, something about this energy, I don't know. Maybe I'm just blaming you guys and it is me all along. I don't know. Hope you guys can bear with me. Then let's get a clarifier for that's the knight. The explorer is the knight. So the creator must be the queen. Okay. Yeah. So can we get a clarifier for the explorer of vials? Also the explorer or the knight of cups. So we have balance. And then clarifier for the 10 of Pentacles. There we go. Integrate. So we are going to read what they say when we're talking about them, but I'm not going to read them right now because, yeah, order. So let's start out with this magician and creator of tomes energy. So the magician is actually the energy of the creator, right? You can create anything you want by having that intention. So I think that your partner is going to be quite excited. Overall, I'm seeing a very positive energy. And with this diviner and creator of tomes energy, I feel like the immediate reaction is going to be to read up on parenting, reading up on how to be the best person to help you with giving birth, or how to raise your baby. Like, what are you going to do the first few weeks? What do we need to buy? What do we need to get? So they're really going into this mode of, I want to help. I want to do things. I want to get started. Yeah. So this person might be quite the busy bee, or just they want to have that control of knowing what they need to do, knowing how to act, maybe even reading signs of pregnancy and how to alleviate nausea or stuff like that. So they can be the best of help during this pregnancy. So very, very sweet energy coming from your partner. Now with the Two of Bells is a little bit more, I don't know, it's about making decisions. It's about maybe some conflictions. We have upbringing and disengage here. So the upbringing card talks about limiting beliefs and values that still affect you today, and unresolved trauma, and disengage. Yeah, so the Two of Bells usually is depicted, it can be depicted by scissors, the Two of Swords, or just a woman blindfolded holding two swords. So I feel like your person or your partner, especially with upbringing here, it's like clarifying that they are kind of cutting out what they have learned through their upbringing. Maybe they want to do things differently than their parents did, or that their family brought them up in, or even just want to change the location of where they were brought up in. So it might indicate that they might want to move or just do things differently. I hope I'm making sense, because again, my wording is also having some issues right now. Yeah. So just know that they want to do things differently. They want to cut out maybe their past. They want to cut out any negativity. Disengaging. I don't think I've read this card with you guys, but disengaging from any energy that is not good for the baby. So to disown something that is not aligned with who you are, to disagree, to step away from a toxic influence, to take a break. So it could also mean that they're trying to quit smoking or quit vaping, or if there is any other unhealthy habit, they're trying to get rid of that. So yeah, they're really going into this mode of changing things, doing better, learning, a really active energy, actually. And with the Explorer of Vials, this Knight of Cups reversed and balance, to stabilize, to return to the now, to find equilibrium and harmony. So I feel like they can become quite overly emotional or like very quiet. It's either one of them, or very logical. So, or very logical or overly emotional. And I think that they might need some time to get back into balance. I'm sorry, it's my little one that's looking at some pictures that's making some noises. I hope you guys don't mind, or it's not, yeah, anything like that. But as you can see, your partner just needs some time to balance out. They're going to be overly excited, or yeah, I think overly excited for everybody. And it's just, they're going to go in this mode of, I need to do things, or rambling, stuff like that. It's just a little bit of a frantic energy I'm seeing here. And with the underlying energy of the Ten of Tomes, the Ten of Pentacles reversed, and integrate, the integrate card says to combine. Let me show you guys what it says. To combine, to make whole, to dissolve the tension, to include. So I do love that it says to make whole. So I think this might be, because it's reversed, the Ten of Tomes is talking about the whole picture, right? So having everything, having abundance, having family, having it all. But it's reversed. So I do feel like they're going to be very excited about this baby coming into your life. But I do feel like they might want to have more kids after this. Like, it's not everything they want yet. Maybe they want one more kid, or they feel like their finances are still lacking a little bit. Or like we said, there might still be some things that they need to cut out of their lives. But it is a step in the right direction. You're almost at this Ten of Pentacles. They feel like they're almost at this point where they have it all. Yeah, that's beautiful. Maybe your house isn't finished yet and they're trying to clean the house up or stuff like that. But overall, they're very, very excited, very happy to have this baby coming into their world. So that's it for your partner. Now let's take a look at your friends. So let's take a look at how your friends are going to respond. And I hope my little one is gonna enjoy herself a little bit more and not going to cry. There we go. So let's see how your friends will respond. There we go. We have the Mystic of Tomes, which is the King of Pentacles reversed. And we have the Six of Cups reversed. So we're gonna keep them together. They came out together. Let's get more information on how your friends will respond. Let's see. Spirit, how will pile three's friends respond? How will they respond to the news of pile three's pregnancy? There we go. We have the Magician. What was the other card then? I think I said the Magician, but it wasn't. I read it as the Magician though. So we're gonna stick to that meaning. Like I said, your pile is really messy. I don't know why. We have the Fool in reverse. And bottom of the deck, we have the World. Beautiful. There we go. Now let's get the clarifiers. Well, no, I think I have to check on my little one. She just makes the craziest noises since a week. And sometimes I'm just not sure if she's gonna cry or if she's actually happy. So I'm gonna take a look and see how she's doing. Okay, she's still enjoying herself. We gotta make sure, right? We want her to be happy. But let's get clarified for you guys. So that's the first one. We have Sabotage. Don't worry though, because it sounds scarier than it is. Let me show you guys. In what ways have you been sabotaging yourself and shaping yourself? Stopping yourself from achieving success and greatness. Let's get a clarifier for the Magician. Clarifier for the Magician, please. Can we get a clarifier for this Magician card? Can we get a clarifier, please? There we go. We have opinion.
Let me just read it with you guys now. So, a view that is formed based on what you know, how you think and how you feel. A perspective or judgment informed by your personal experiences, your upbringing, and your worldview.
And then a clarifier for the Fool. Can we get a clarifier for the Fool, please? Lead.
There we go. To be the role model, to set an example, to facilitate, to show the way, to steer towards the right direction.
And lastly, a clarifier for the World card. There we go. Victimhood. And we're going to read that as well.
There we go. How are you blaming the world for what happened to you? How have you given up your own agency and power? Alternatively, what painful experiences do you need to fully acknowledge in order to heal?
So, first of all, I'm going to start out with this World card. You telling your friends that you're pregnant is actually the end of you victimizing yourself. I'm having trouble with my words again. Maybe you have a blocked throat chakra and that's what's coming up here. You might have trouble speaking your truth. You might have trouble with sticking up for yourself. And that's what you're going to do now. This is you speaking up for yourself. This is you speaking your truth. You being honest and telling them how happy you are about this pregnancy. But what I do see, it's very important for you, especially with the lead, to be honest to them. To tell them how you feel about this. With the Fool being reversed, it's like the Fool could mean a new start, but it could also mean like being foolish, and it's reversed. So it's like you're gonna have to come through and tell them like, I'm not being foolish here. I have a plan, or I have planned this. It's not just happening on a whim, stuff like that. I'm gonna be right back. Sorry.
So where was I? I think I was telling you guys that you need to stand your ground and lead. Lead the conversation. And of course, like I said, we're talking about your friends, but make sure, I think that you might have a few friends that are not really your friends. And I think I've talked about this in one of my other piles. This is a situation that you will find yourself in, that you will figure out whether these people are truly friends or if they don't have your best interests, right? Or if they cannot be happy for you. So I think that that's what this card is about with the world and victimhood. It's like you're finally standing up for yourself. Maybe you're even deciding that if people cannot be happy for you, that you're cutting them out, the ending of that cycle, right? And I don't think you need to cut a lot of people out, but I do think you need to stand your ground. And if they truly care about you, they will change for you. They will make adjustments. They will come around, make a different comment, or maybe they will just be nicer. You might need to have a few conversations, but they will turn around and they will be a better friend. Okay? And I think that that's what this sabotage... Okay, I'm going to talk about something. I'm not sure if I see it in the card, but it is coming up for me. And that is that you might not have been completely honest to friends about what you want out of life or what you want right now. An example I can give is maybe you told people, no, I don't want kids yet. I'm not even thinking about it. I just want to have fun. But in the meantime, you did want to try and get pregnant. You actually got pregnant now.
And now you're trying to tell them that you're pregnant, but they're not responding the way that you like or that you hoped for. And I feel like it has to do with the way that you spoke about what you wanted for a long time. And it's okay that you've done that. You don't have to blame yourself for it. You don't have to get mad at yourself, because I've been there. I know how it feels. But what is important about it is that you cannot expect people to be very happy and excited, or expect like, oh, wow, we knew you wanted that for such a long time, if you didn't tell them, right? So if they were under the influence or under the idea that you didn't want this, yeah, they're going to respond differently. So I do think with this lead card, you have to be clear, like kind of guide them and tell them like, oh, I'm so excited. We really were trying for a while, and I really want this. And they're going to respond differently, right? So their opinion, the way that they're going to respond is, one, dependent on how they have been brought up or how they feel in general, but it's also dependent on how you informed them. And I think that that's something that's quite important. Maybe that's why the sabotage card is here with these cards. So maybe you have been sabotaging the way that people respond because you haven't been clear with your intentions when it comes to having this baby. So the Six of Cups is here, which talks about the past, but it's reversed. And we have the Mystic of Tomes, which is, I think, the Knight of Pentacles. So maybe you haven't been strong enough to bring forward your opinion in the past, or maybe you having this baby kind of goes against what is expected, or goes against what your friends want in general for themselves, and you just went along with what they said, and you just didn't really want to interfere because you didn't want to stir the pot. But now that you are pregnant, you are quite happy and you want to share the news, right? So be sure that you are clear with how you feel about having this baby, and then come to them with this message, and they will act accordingly. They will be happy for you, really happy for you. But you have to come clean and say that you're actually happy about it too, okay? That's what I'm seeing. I'll be right back. So yeah, maybe this comes from your past, that you might have had trouble being honest about what you wanted, or I'm not sure. If this doesn't resonate, by the way, just let it fly. That's totally fine. This message might just not be for you. But this was what I very strongly got for the response of your friends. So let me remove these cards and let's take a look at your family now. So let's take a look at how your family will respond. Let's try and shuffle one more time. So let's take a look. Spirit, how will pile 3's family respond? So we have the Tower, as well as the Two of Cups reversed. What else can you tell us about how they will respond? Okay, so we have the Three of Wands. We have the Queen of Swords. And we have the Ace of Cups reversed. And I want one more for the bottom of the deck energy. Six of Candles. So the Six of Wands. Let's get some clarifiers. And by the way, don't get too anxious once again. Usually if we see some of the heavier energies, we tend to get very scared. There's no reason to get scared. Everything is going to be all right. So let's get a clarifier for the Tower and the Two of Cups reversed. Can we get a clarifier, please, Spirit? There we go. So we have commit to...
I'm going to show you guys. To dedicate, to devote, or pledge yourself to persist, to not give up or give in, to choose something fully.
That's interesting. So let me do that again. Can we get a clarifier for the Three of Wands? We have navigate. A clarifier for the Creator of Bells. We have expression. And for the Six of Wands, this is the Queen of Swords, sorry. Queen of Swords. And then for the Six of Wands, can we get a clarifier, please? There we go. We have relationship.
Now I realize I didn't let you read the expression and relationship, so we're going to read that first. Like I said, this energy that I'm dealing with in your pile is a little bit more difficult for me. But that's okay. We'll try and take things slow, right? So expression, creative and self-expression. The way you choose to convey consciously or unconsciously an idea, an opinion, or an emotion. And then we have relationship. The way you are connected to something or somebody, or related to something or somebody, including yourself. So what I'm seeing here, the underlying energy is the energy of a victory with relationship. So what I feel like is that you don't really have to worry about your family much. It might be because I feel for some of you guys, the family members are not really going to respond the way you hope. They're not going to be very nice. And I think for most of you that you already saw that coming. And if this doesn't sound like your situation, I do think you're probably in the wrong reading. But what I can see is that with this victory card and relationship here, that your relationship is going to survive this whole situation. But I do think that there are going to be some lessons when it comes to you communicating with your family. Yeah, it's going to stir the pot a little bit, especially because we have the Tower here and the Two of Cups reversed. So the Tower card is talking about like something crashing down onto its foundations. So it's like things are going down, right? And with the Two of Cups reversed, Two of Cups talks about love, about soulmates, about all that good stuff, and it's reversed. So it does look like initially someone's not gonna respond very lovingly, or they're not gonna be very nice. It might seem like your whole world is going to come crashing down when it comes to your family's response. But I do feel like Spirit is asking you to commit nonetheless. Commit to what you want. I feel like it might be difficult for you to ignore what your family believes or thinks. But this is time to double down for you. To do what you want to do. To stay in your power. And your family, like we said, it will come around. With the Three of Wands here as well, it's like maybe it's going to be difficult for you to find a path through. Maybe that's why your family is responding in such a way, because they feel like it's going to be more difficult for you going down the path of having this child. But know that if this is what you want, everything is going to turn out perfectly. It's going to turn out fine. You are exactly where you are supposed to be. Okay? Trust that. So know that you can navigate this. You can handle this.
but it does seem like it's going to be a little bit more difficult for you. And I think that that's what your family acknowledges, and that's why they might respond in a certain way at this time. Okay? I don't think they hate you. I don't think they think you're stupid. I just think that they see the difficulty, or they are afraid of some difficulty that might come your way, and that's what they're responding to. Now, with the Creator of Bells, so the Queen of Swords, and the Ace of Vials, the Ace of Cups reversed, and expression here, we see this woman that's very stern. So this might be your mom, this might be someone else's mother, this might be your grandma. But this is someone that's stern, that's strict, that's very logical, can be very harsh with her words. It might seem like she is very closed down. She might really express that she's not happy with this, or she might really respond in a way that's not very loving. She might just, withdraw a little bit from you. Maybe you had a closer relationship, or maybe this is someone you are trying to appease a lot. But it feels like she's clearly going to disapprove of whatever you're going to tell her, right? And I hope that that's not too difficult to hear for you guys. I have said this before. I'm here to deliver you guys the truth. I don't want to lie to you guys. I want to be honest. And this is what you needed to hear. I hope you're going to navigate this just fine, because clearly you will. And know that at the end of it, everything will turn out for the better. You will overcome this situation with this person. But there are some challenges here that you will work through with probably your mom. It might be a different feminine energy that's here. But it does look like it's going to be very important for you to invest in yourself, to take care of yourself, to take care of your baby. Self-care is going to be really, really important. And it's also very important for you to commit to what you want. So tell them what you want, but be sure that you are feeling confidently about this, because I feel like if you are doubting a little bit, or at least you're not confident enough, or your boundaries are not strong enough, their response might influence what you're going to do with this situation. And I think that you shouldn't let their opinions or their views change what you're going to do or how you're going to do things, okay? I know they're important people for you, but then again, it's your life, it's your decision. Do what makes you happy. They will come around. So maybe their initial response is a little bit more difficult. They will come around. I think that they are going to be very happy and very proud as time goes by. So I'm sorry, this is probably not what you wanted to hear, but I do feel like for most of you, this is really what you needed to hear. And I am sending you a lot of courage and a lot of love, okay? That does end this reading for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Just keep in mind that everything will turn out for the better. You have this victory at the end of it, so it's gonna be all right, okay? And I hope you guys have a great day.
Bye, guys. Hello, my lovely pile number 4. If you pick this cute little doggy, this is going to be your reading on how your partner, friends, and family are going to respond to your pregnancy. So let's take a look at your baby to see about which pregnancy this is and if you're in the right pile. So we have this little boy with grateful. I am grateful for my strength and courage, using them to make the world a safer place. So your little boy is going to make this world a safer place. And they are going to be very strong and courageous. Love that. So let's see what zodiacs they might have. So we're getting multiple zodiacs and see what they are. I'm going to try and shuffle these cards, but I don't think it really works like that. We'll just do it like this.
So, Spirit, what zodiac will pile four's baby have? What zodiac will they have? Can we get more information on pile four's baby? What will their zodiac be? There we go.
The first one we have is Taurus.
I don't know why, but this makes me feel like it looks to me like a weed plant. I don't think it has that form. Hemp? Weed? Well, yeah, forget about it. I didn't mention it. Maybe it's significant to some of you guys. Maybe medicinal? Not sure. So let's get more information. So what zodiac might pile four's baby have? What might their zodiac be? What zodiac will pile four's baby have? Can we get more information, please? There we go.
We have Scorpio. Let me show you guys. There we go. So they might be a Scorpio.
Let's get a few more. Yeah. Let's just continue and yeah, there we go. That's enough for us today.
So what else do we have? We have Gemini, so they might be a Gemini. And lastly, we have fire. So all the fire signs are here. And Leo, Aries, and Sagittarius.
There we go. Now let's take a look at their characteristics.
So we're going to use these little cards. Keep in mind, the general attributes are probably for everybody. But if it's quite specific, just take it if it resonates, okay? That's one. I think I want about 6 or 7, something like that. So, Spirit, what can you tell us about pile four's baby? What can you tell us about? Yeah, that's a little bit too much. But we're gonna take them. There we go. Gonna put that there. And let's read which cards you guys have. So first of all, we have attractive.
So other people are gonna think your boy
Or girl with more masculine energy is going to be really attractive. We also have independent. So they're going to be quite independent. They might want to just go into the world and figure things out on their own. Of course, they will come back to their parents for a hug every now and then, but they're quite independent. They want to figure things out. We also have currently unavailable. So it might be that when you're watching this reading, you are not pregnant yet, but know that you will be in the future. So that's what this currently unavailable card means, actually. Then we have fire body. So we already had fire signs. Now we have the fire body. And what I get with this is that they are very passionate. They have this fire in their body. They have this energy to do things. They are so passionate about things that they just cannot stand waiting and not doing something about it. We also have I have changed. So they will probably change a lot throughout their lives. Like maybe they are a little bit more shy as they're young, and they will grow up to be very confident and very independent. It might be that they are changing in a different way, but there is a lot of change throughout their lives. We also have intelligent, so they're going to be very intelligent.
Love that. And last but not least,
we have North American origins.
So I think this is the only one that is very specific.
So for this one, take it if it resonates. If it doesn't, let it fly.
So that's what I have to say about your baby. Now let me remove these cards and let's take a look at how your partner is going to respond to the news. Okay, so let's take a look. I want to mention that I have been quite anxious telling it myself when I was pregnant. Not so much with my partner, more so with family and friends, because I did have some negative experiences in the past. So I totally get that you can be quite anxious about telling the good news to people. And I am wondering, who are you most excited about telling? And who are you most afraid of telling? And I mean, you don't have to drop names or anything like that, but I think it might be fun to read the comments and just know that you're not alone in, like, still having a little bit of fear surrounding the subject, right? So let me know in the comments, or just any information you want to share about sharing your pregnancy news. So let's take a look at your partner. How will they respond to you telling them that you're pregnant? Spirit, how will pile 4's partner respond? Can we get some information on how they will respond? How will pile 4's partner respond? How will they respond? How will they respond? There we go. We have the star. Love that. The star talks about hope. And I always hear like making a wish upon a star. So that's very, very positive. It's like a wish come true. But we're going to talk about it in a minute. Let's get more information. So how will pile 4's partner respond? How will they respond? Can we get more information, please? Ah, dear. We have the 8 of Wands. Love that. 8 of Wands is a very fast energy, and I'm going to explain to you guys what it means in a second. If you don't already know, or I think some of you might already have a feeling about what it means. We also have the 9 of Wands reversed. And for the bottom of the deck, we have the Fool in reverse.
A new chapter.
Right? So it's not a new start, it's a new chapter. Now, let's get some clarifiers. I'm gonna try and shuffle this deck as well. You can always move a little bit forward if you don't want to watch me struggle to see me struggle trying to shuffle. Sometimes it goes well, sometimes it definitely doesn't go well. So yeah. And now my neighbor is starting to do something in his garden, so I hope he's not going to do that for too long. We'll see. There we go. So, Spirit, can we get a clarifier for this star card, please? Clarifier for the star. Thank you. That really jumped out, didn't it? We have Purge. Then a clarifier for the 8 of Candles or the 8 of Wands. Let's get a clarifier, please. There we go. We have Ego. And I am going to read the cards and show them to you guys in a second if we have all the cards on the table. a clarifier for the 9 of Wands. There we go. We have purpose. And a clarifier for the Fool. There we go. We have problematic behavior. Okay. So let's start with this Star card and the Purge. I'm going to show you guys. So it says to destroy, to cleanse, to renew, to eradicate, and transform. So with the Star, it shows us that there is hope being brought in to your relationship. And with Purge, it does seem like any negativity or any bad habits are going to be cleared out of your relationship. So I think that this baby is going to bring a lot of hope for the future for your family. And maybe it also just changes your relationship for the better. I think that it makes your person want to do better at being a partner and just being there for you, being supportive. So I think that that message is pretty clear. Then we have the 8 of Candles, which is the 8 of Wands and ego. So I do think that your person, your partner, still has quite a lot of ego. They might not have worked through some of their issues of their past, but that's totally fine. But what I am seeing is that they, as soon as they get the news, they want to share it with everybody. So they might post it on social media. They might want to reach out to all of their family and friends. But yeah, they are kind of really proud of becoming a parent, and they just want to shout it off the roofs. But not necessarily in this grounded, heavy, necessarily in this grounded, healthy way. It's more so that they are kind of boasting, I think is the word, like just being very prideful and just sharing the news. Again, it's a good sign that they're very happy with this pregnancy and that they're becoming a parent. But at the same time, we can see that they might have some things to work through when it comes to their ego. Now, I think I haven't shown the card to you, so let's read it together. What are the false and problematic beliefs that you have about yourself in the world? What are the perceptions of yourself that are not aligned with the truth of who you are? What masks are you wearing? So I do feel like for your person or your partner that this is kind of a mask. I do think that they're very happy and very excited about the news. But I think that it's very difficult for them to be vulnerable. And instead of being vulnerable, they just go out and share it with everybody, right? Instead of keeping it contained, like just opening up their heart and telling you how they feel. They just rather tell everybody, kind of prideful that they're going to become a parent, which is not that bad, but yeah, maybe not what you wanted. Now we have the 9 of Candles, which is the 9 of Wands reversed with a purpose. For this one, I wanted to go to the book because I'm not 100% sure what it means, and sometimes it just means that the book has a better explanation than I have. So we said the 9 of Candles, 9 of Wands, and it is reversed. So let's read it. The downside of being constantly ready for adversity is that it can make us wary and anxious. Be careful that you aren't looking for threats that don't exist. Shadows in the night are just that, shadows. Paranoia erodes our sense of trust with those who support us just as much as those who do harm. Putting yourself on the defensive 24/7 is a good way to make your allies feel shut out and unappreciated, not to mention worried. So this card is especially pertinent for people with hypervigilance and PTSD, and can represent the struggle when it comes up in a reading. Remember that the past does not always has to repeat itself. Our minds and bodies are convinced that it will, that danger is always around the corner, and thus is always on high alert. This card reminds you that those thoughts and feelings are not reality. Seek help and try methods of grounding yourself in the present to get a break from the intensity and hopefully a moment of peace. Okay, and then we have the card Purpose. Let me read that with you. What is your North Star, your calling, what drives you and inspires you? What do you allow to guide your actions? What gives life meaning? So obviously, this child, this baby is going to give your partner a purpose. So I really think that this child is going to help your partner get out of that anxious state or this PTSD-ish energy that they might have. So maybe telling them that you are pregnant might cause them some anxiety. But at the same time, they will know that this is going to give them purpose and meaning to life. They are going to be a great parent. They want to do better because this baby is going to come into their lives. And I think it's really going to lift them up. Now, with the Fool reversed and the problematic behavior, like I said, the Fool indicates a new start, but because it's reversed, I feel like it's more so a new chapter for them. So there is a new chapter opening up for them, obviously. Now, the card Problematic Behavior, it says, what are the toxic behaviors from you or from others that are present in your life right now? What needs to be acknowledged and dealt with? So this indicates to me that they are going to try and work on their problematic behavior, like we saw with the purge, right? So there might be some issues that they're still having, whether this comes from PTSD or it comes from something else, just trauma in their past. They want to deal with that so they can have this chapter, this new chapter, this fresh chapter, this positive chapter. They're going to try and leave that negativity behind for the sake of your child. And I think that's wonderful. So overall, I can see that this person is quite maybe even traumatized or that just has had a very heavy past. But they are very hopeful for this future with you and the baby, which is lovely. So that's it for your partner. Now let me remove these cards and let's take a look at your friends. So let's take a look at your friends. I'm going to try and shuffle once again. Get some energy into these cards. Specifically your energy. I don't know if some of you guys use tarot yourself, but it might be fun to pull a daily card just to connect in with spirit every now and then. It really helps you find your own peace. If you get anxious, it might really help. Just know that you are supported by spirit. They are here right beside you. Although you might not see them, they are really here. And if you don't know how to read tarot yet, of course you can buy a deck and just pull that one card like I did in the partner card. You can just use the guidebook. You can just shuffle the cards, get that card and read the guidebook, see what it means. That's totally fine. And that's how you learn. And it will actually help you. And as you go, you'll learn more about what the cards mean. And in a few months, you might be able to read cards very easily. You might have a gift at it. Don't knock it till you try it. So we're starting out with friends. So we have the 10 of Pentacles reversed and we have the 8 of Cups. Let me put it right there. Then let's get more information on your friends' responses to your pregnancy. Can we get more information, please? We have the 3 of Cups. Love that. One more, please. One more, please. Whoop, it fell on the floor. Let me try and grab it. We have the Sun. There we go. Bottom of the deck energy, the 8 of Pentacles. There we go. Then let's get some clarifiers. You know the drill by now, probably. I'm gonna shuffle once more. These nails do make it a little bit more difficult to shuffle the cards, and I'm not a pro at shuffling cards either. But it doesn't have to be perfect to work. That's the fun thing about doing tarot. You don't have to be perfect. You just shuffle cards, and what I do, whatever falls out, is meant to fall out. Even if you shuffle badly. And if you're not sure, put it back. Just ask the question again. It's really that easy. So, Spirit, can we get a clarifier for the 10 of Pentacles and the 8 of Cups? Can we get a clarifier, please? There we go. We have career, work, and business. Then a clarifier for the 3 of Cups. Can we get a clarifier for the 3 of Cups, please? Or the 3 of Vials in this case. I must say that I really don't like that they changed the names, because now I have to check the guidebook every time because I'm not sure which card in tarot they're actually referring to. But yeah, so vials are cups, tomes are pentacles, and then you have bells are swords. But yeah, that really just makes it confusing to me, I must say. So let's get a clarifier for the 3 of Vials, please. There we go. We have Seeker. And a clarifier for the Sun. There we go. Projection. And then for the 8 of Pentacles, I'm going to do that again. As you saw, there are too many cards falling out. We don't want that. We just want one. And I need to change my battery in a second. So we'll see if the camera can stay alive until the card comes out, or I'll have to come back. So a clarifier for the 8 of Pentacles, please. There we go. Where did it go, though? Here it is. Assert. So I'm gonna put that here. I'm gonna change my battery pack, and I'm gonna be right back with you guys. Okay. Okay, so new battery is in. Let's continue. I'm gonna start over here on the left with the 10 of Pentacles reversed and the 8 of Cups clarified by the career, work, and business card. So I feel like these might be work friends or just people that you know through work, or that are maybe partners when it comes to your work. So maybe you have your own company with someone. With the 10 of Pentacles reversed and the 8 of Cups, it kind of shows us that they might be afraid of you losing interest in the work relationship, or you moving away from this job that you have. So maybe they are afraid to lose you as a coworker, or they just feel like you might want to stay at home afterwards, and they're just not gonna connect to you as much as they have been used to. So I think that it can be interpreted in different ways, but overall it's just people from work are afraid to lose contact with you. So I do think that they are very happy for you, but at the same time, I think they are kind of thinking about themselves and about like the risk that there is of you walking away from your job. So that's what I'm seeing here. Let me see if there is anything else I get from that. Yeah, I think that's about it. I do think with the 10 of Pentacles in reverse, that it's like maybe you'll finally realize that there's not everything, that not everything is about work. Maybe they are going to be very happy for you that you're finally opening up your life to do more fun things, to do other things than just focus on work and business. Maybe you have been very, very focused on work in the past, and that's where you're getting out of, and that's why they are very excited for you that you'll be starting your own little family. Then with the 3 of Vials, also the 3 of Cups and Seeker, we will read the Seeker card. So the Seeker card says, use this card to represent you, who you are, what you may be thinking, feeling, and how you are positioned in a situation or relationship right now. So your friends are going to be celebrating with you. The 3 of Vials, the 3 of Cups, is a card of celebration. And I think that all they want for you is for you to be happy with the Seeker card. All they want is for you to be happy. And they see that you are very happy and excited to have this baby. And they're just super excited. They might throw you a baby shower. I just see them being very, very excited, partying, maybe like, how do you say that? All those glasses, bumping them together, right? Wishing you a lot of well wishes. But yeah, I think that they really want to be their aunts, like their godmother. They're just very excited. Also, we have the Sun. The Sun also is a very positive card. The Sun illuminates everything. So there is even more clarity, more positivity coming through. We also have projection, and it says, how have your internal problems and emotions been projected onto something or someone outside of you? In what ways have you been misinterpreting your reality? What is mirrored back at you? So what I see here is that you have been putting in the work. This 8 of Tomes talks about putting in the work. So you have been putting in the work to work on yourself. I think that's the message that we're seeing here. You've been putting in the work, whether it is at your job or working at yourself. And that's what is being reflected back to you. Because you have this positive outlook on your future and on how things are going to go. Things are actually going to go smoothly. That's what the universe is going to project back to you. So your friends, same thing. You are very happy, very excited, and you're not afraid that things might go wrong or that people are going to respond in a negative way. And that's what you're getting back. So people are going to be very excited. They're going to be very happy. They're going to congratulate you. They might also want to give you gifts. But yeah, overall, everybody is going to be very, very excited. And we also have assert here. Let me show you guys. With to claim, to take space, to remain honest and confident. Yeah. So again, keep putting in the work to stay confident, to claim your space, to be grounded, and all this positive energy will keep flowing to you. I think that the only thing when this can go wrong is by you becoming very anxious or insecure. And I don't think that there's any space for that here. And it's not really in the cards either. So yeah, just keep doing what you're doing. Keep asserting yourself. Be positive. Keep that positive outlook that you have. Spirit is really rewarding you for all the effort that you've already put into working on yourself. And that shows just beautiful. So that is how your friends will respond. Let me remove these cards and let's take a look at your family. And I don't think you have to fear anything at this moment. These cards are so freaking positive. Okay, so let's take a look at how your family will respond. I do want to mention my own daughter, baby, is like only 1 meter away from me and she's playing. So she is making some noises. I hope you guys don't mind. Yeah, she's learning how to use her voice. And I think it's very cute. But yeah, sometimes I'm like, can you please keep it down a little bit because I'm trying to do a reading. But at the same time, I'm just so happy that she is here and she is making the noises. So I cannot complain at all. So let's take a look at how your family will respond. So Spirit, how will pile 4's family respond to the news? So we have the Ace of Pentacles, and we have Strength upright. Can we get more information, please? I'm not keeping them together because I feel like they came out separately. Let's get more information. Like I said, she's learning how to use her voice. So do you. There we go. We have the 9 of Bells, which is the 9 of Swords reversed. Then, last but not least, bottom of the deck, the 7 of Wands. There we go. Let's get some clarifiers. So let's already start with talking about this Ace of Tomes, which is the Ace of Pentacles. The Ace of Pentacles talks about planting a seed and watch it grow. So I really love that as an analogy for a little baby. Like, this baby is coming onto this earth and now we're going to nurture it and watch it grow, right? So I feel like your parents or your family members are really going to help nurture this little seed or little baby, and help them unleash their full potential. For Strength, we have a Victory. We are going to read these cards in a second. Let's get a clarifier for the 9 of Swords. So 9 of Swords is a very anxious energy. And as you can see, it came out reversed. So that's very positive. And last but not least, a clarifier for the 7 of Wands. It's the only card that I'm not quite sure of at the moment. But let's get a clarifier. Maybe that'll help. So can we get a clarifier? Yeah, there we go. Balance. Okay. There we go. So, like I said, with the Ace of Pentacles, your baby is going to be the center of attention when it comes to your family. Everybody's going to pitch in. They're all wanting to help. And I think at the same time, they think that your baby is really important. So they are going to become a part of who your family is. And your family just is going to put a lot of effort in making this baby feel seen and heard, helping them grow in the best way possible, and help them overcome any storm. As we all know, trees can handle anything, right? I also get the imagery of a family tree. So it is like all the generations are trying to pitch in, maybe even some ancestors that are not here anymore, that they are helping from above. We also have Strength and Victory. Let me show you guys what it says. What validates you, affirms you, and establishes you? What makes you a winner? How do you become victorious? And it's very interesting that it comes out while we have the 7 of Candles or the 7 of Wands reversed. The 7 of Wands can also, like, you have the 6 of Wands, which can talk about a victory. After that comes the 7 of Wands, which talks about, like, standing in the spotlight, but at the same time maybe facing some opposition. So we are going to read the book for that one later because I want to make sure that we have that interpretation right. But with strength and victory, I think that your family will acknowledge how much effort you needed to put into creating this for yourself. I think that they really know how hard you had to work for this. Maybe not the typical kind of work, but maybe work on healing, working on your anxiousness, working on maybe your overall health. But they definitely see that you have overcome a lot of obstacles and that you have finally come out victoriously. And they really, really admire that. And with the 9 of Bells here and manifest, the manifest card says to create, to bring into existence, and to make into reality. So yeah, you have finally let that fear go. And that's why you are able to manifest this beautiful child. And I think that by you doing this, your family also is able to release a lot of their own fears. They might have had a lot of resistance or fears in the past, but we can definitely see that that's been letting go of. The card is upside down, reversed, and you're able to manifest. So I think that your family just trusts that everything's going to work out. They might pray a little more. They are trying to help you bring this child onto this earth. They are trying to stay positive. They're trying to help you. And we just see everything working out pretty well. And yeah, they are really supportive is what I'm seeing. Here with the balance and the 7 of candles, like I said, the 7 of candles or the 7 of wands, I am going to read from the book. But I feel like they just really admire you. The 7 of candles can be quite negative, upright, but because it's reversed, I feel like it's more so that they really look up to you and that they really admire you. But like I said, we're going to get to the book. We also have balance. Let me read that. It says to stabilize, to return to the now, to find equilibrium and harmony. So I do feel like you guys are finally finding that harmony. Now let's take a look at the candles. 7, nope, other way. 2, nope. We need to have a 7 of candles and we need it to be reversed. There we go. So, whoops, someone's taken a tumble off the catwalk and into the hands of those waiting below. The 7 of candles reversed can indicate that we've gotten into other people's definitions of success rather than our own and are judging ourselves harshly by it. With this card, we may find ourselves falling into the trap of comparisons and I'll never be as good as they are type of talk. This can be very demoralizing and lead us astray from our true personal path, the one that serves us best. When this card appears, make sure you are living life according to your beliefs and not those of others. We all have different minds, hearts, and bodies, and no one knows you better than yourself. And if you don't know yourself, then it's time for you to do some exploring. So, as you might have heard, my little girl is making some noises. I'll be right back. Okay, so what's important for you guys is to balance out your beliefs, your opinions, and your family's opinions. You can take them into consideration, but it's very important that you do not let them take over. They can help, but at the same time, it's your life. It's your baby. It's up to you how you raise them, what you do with them. They have great intentions, as I said. But at the same time, you know best. Okay? Keep that in mind. And I think that's how we're going to end this reading. You know best. Trust yourself. Okay? So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, you can give it a little like. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I would love to have you there. Thank you so much for watching. I'm also going to add some videos that are similar to these that you might want to watch. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope you guys have a great day. Bye, guys.